The Branks. Designed to impede the senses of its victims and hinder speech, the Branks mask was used primarily in England and Wales during the 17th and 18th centuries to punish unruly women. Branks masks were built in all shapes and sizes and often included a cowbell to announce the presence of the victim. Some versions of the Branks would obstruct the victim's sight and hearing, while others included a mouthpiece, rendering speech impossible. Dr. David Sestak, an expert in emergency medicine, is on hand to enlighten the guys on the medical effects of the Branks.
I understand you're in charge of making the Branks mask,
That is correct.
You're taking away the vision, you're augmenting the hearing, you're having difficulty if you've got this mouthpiece, maybe even handling your own saliva, some of those secretions and your gag reflex. So
that could be
looks
bad.
like a and that could be a lethal type injury, quite honestly. If you were to have an upchucking episode and aspirate those stomach contents, so it's not entirely a benign device.
Branks masks were used to punish outspoken women. In the 17th century, the rights of English women were significantly restricted. The concept of free speech was non-existent, and if women excessively nagged or scolded their husbands or neighbors, they could be formally charged. The official crime was common scold. Women would stand trial for the offense, and if found guilty, would be sentenced to wear the Branks.
So Kermit's making the mask, and I'm sure he's going to put some ridiculous twist on it. I think it's going to be very effective, but it's also going to look ridiculous.
We're pretty much allowed to use our creative freedom. We don't have to build it strictly by the books because there was nothing really built by the books in those days.
Kermit incorporates features from several different Branks masks into his own. Kermit's version muzzles the mouth and obstructs the eyes. His gigantic ears produce an ear-splitting, clacking sound that's channeled directly to the victim's eardrum. Dave stops in to look at Kermit's interpretation of the Branks mask.
What I did was I made the ears hollow, the big nose piece with the wart. I designed it so that the two chains they actually come down the back side of the helmet, come up through your armpits, and they all connect into the front. There's an additional mouthpiece will get put into the person's mouth.
And then by locking in here, it keeps, you can't get it out.
Right, locked here, and then the other chains come up and lock onto it also so they can't get out of it.
You've been practicing this at home, haven't you?
Yes, just a little bit.
Women accused of scold crimes were often convicted based on the testimony of their husbands. The Branks was sometimes used to punish women accused of practicing witchcraft.
Kermit's Branks looks kind of like a goblin. It's got a big, long, pointy nose. It's got big, floppy ears that are on pivots, so when somebody's moving, they're gonna go tack, 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 tack on the side of his head.
That's loud, dude. It's really, really loud.
Kermit has nearly finished the reconstruction of the Branks. Josh has agreed to wear the mask while continuing to work as floor supervisor.
I basically run around like a chicken with its head cut off. I answer people's questions, and I make sure everybody's doing their job and getting everything done. Hey, I don't need any lip out of you.
Josh's test of the Branks may be an historic event. There are no records of men ever wearing the mask. While the first use of women wearing the Branks is still unknown, records show that the device was used as early as 1567 in Edinburgh, Scotland. Kermit has completed the recreation of the Branks experiment, and it's time to present the device to Josh.
Is it finally done? What the hell is that?
This is your mask, man. What do you think of it?
A little bit overkill, don't you think?
No, not at all.
All these other guys want to not try anything like that or don't have the balls to do it, so I'm man enough to do it. I'll step up to the plate. You guys can embarrass me all you want.
A little Tinkerbell at the top, huh?
He's even got little, look, even got little flaps for your eyes.
This is what I'm supposed to stick in my mouth.
Yeah, well, it doesn't go all the way in.
Nice all rusted and splinters.
You ready?
Oh, this is ridiculous.
I can imagine having to support that and walk around with that. It would be incredibly uncomfortable.
All right, Big Daddy. Yeah, you'll just slide that right over top of your big head like that.
Josh is ready to experience the humiliation of this 16th century punishment. Since the device was designed exclusively for nagging women, Josh may be the first man to ever wear the Branks. Many Branks were also equipped with a long chain.
The husband then would parade his wife around the public square, emphasizing the fact that she is a nag and a scold in public scorn. So it's again one of those devices that really focuses on embarrassment, especially against women. So a device, obviously, that's not used much today. Thank goodness.
What?
I'm so glad I did not have to do the Branks. I tried it on earlier when Kermit was messing with it. And it looks like it sucks. I would not want to have to wear that for a long time.
So Josh's job requires and seems to make him talk a lot, which he likes to do, obviously. We had him answer the phones, so that was interesting, him trying to communicate with other people, with suppliers.
Hold on 1 second, I'll transfer them to you, all right? Hold on.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun, you know, poking Josh in the ribs, as if you will, to make him go through that.
Josh is still wearing the Branks mask. He's been locked inside the device for over an hour, and he's near the breaking point.
Need a what? You're gonna get sick? Do you need to get out of that? What?
Can't swallow.
You can't swallow and you're gonna get sick? Chad, I think we need to let him out. His jaw's starting to lock up.
1 hour.
What do you think,
60
Dan?
minutes.
It's time, huh?
He paid his dues.
Can you rattle a little bit for me? That's the spirit.
That's
All
the
right,
spirit.
Dan.
Good
All right,
sport.
Be real careful here. There you go, Big Daddy.
Look at that slobber.
Neck, jaws, everything's hurting.
Yummy.
When you're inside that mask, it's hard to swallow. You got all this saliva building up on you, and it's just starting to run out your mouth and everything. All this metal poking you in the head, and then everybody banging on it.
It's a different way of learning history. I've learned more from this test than I ever did from any history book.
It's very effective, I'll give you that.
The Branks mask was sometimes known as the scold's bridle, referencing the crime of common scold. For over 400 years, the common scold law appeared in the English and Welsh statute books. Amazingly, it wasn't until 1967 that the law was declared obsolete by the courts.